The first live images of outer space were faked, which has been proven. Smoking Gun, BBC. The funny thing happened on the way to the moon. They show them in a movie studio faking images of Earth from space. People were waiting for that moment to prove, to really know the Earth was a planet, and it was fake. That's the real reason for the moon mission, was to fake the image of a globe.
During Arctic summer, from approximately the 22nd to the 25th of June, at a high enough latitude and altitude, you can watch a phenomenon known as the midnight sun, where the sun stays continuously visible in the sky for 3 days straight. The midnight sun rises on the 22nd, and for the next 72 hours, never disappears from sight, slowly ascending and descending every 12 hours, showing 3 brilliant sunsets and sunrises without ever actually setting below the horizon.
So for those who don't know, this was made in 1892. This comes from the Boston Public Library. This is, as far as I know, an authentic map of Alexander Gleason. Okay, scientifically and practically correct as it is. And the map portion may be in azimuthal equidistant map, which means they start at the North Pole and just kind of go down, and that's what it would be like based off a globe. But it doesn't say that necessarily. It doesn't say that. So he may have got his map projections from that, but I don't. I think he believed this was the most accurate map, and it is a flat Earth map. So that's the first point I want to say. This is not just your average, like the UN uses this map and things like that, and they'll say there's like 6 government agencies that use what we think is a flat Earth map.
Heliocentrists then added that the Earth also wobbles in a complex combination of patterns known as planetary nutation, the Chandler wobble, and axial precession, which, in their vivid imaginations, somehow explains away common sense. Common sense, however, says that if the heat of the sun travels 93 million miles to reach us, a small axial tilt and wobble, the difference of a few thousand miles, should be completely negligible. If the ball Earth actually spun around 93 million miles from the sun, regardless of any tilt or wobble, temperature and climate the whole world over should be almost completely uniform. If the heat of the sun truly traveled 93 million miles to reach the Earth's equator, the extra few thousand miles to the poles, regardless of any supposed tilt or wobble, no matter how extreme, would surely be negligible in negating such intense heat.
Northern Lights, we know that there's some activity in the northern center part of the Earth. Admiral Byrd even said he discovered an opening, and a lot of the hollow earthers, they'll say, well, there's proof of an opening somewhere in the center of the Earth.
That's our Jambudweep, yeah, same model as used on the UN flag. That's how Vedic society existed. At the middle of Jambudweep, you've got the magnetic north. They described it as a mountain, but it was more a case of it being an energetic thing.
story over and over and over. It's in every game. It's literally over and over and over. It doesn't matter what religion, what video game, what movie. It's always the same story over and over and over. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole with the green astral jet shooting out. This is the tree of life, the infinite potential, the pillar of creation. And every compass is pointing to it.
So they've got flat Earth disk, Sumeru in the middle. It's a lot like the UN thing. Got Jambudweep down there. It's just like the Hindu cosmology.
Another thing that they've been rubbing in your face, like, it's literally on everything. You can see it on your birthday, you put it on your head. It's the same thing that you set up on your Christmas tree. It's the same story over and over and over again. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole. And at the center of the dish, there's a hole where the sun has to place its light or there's no astral jet coming out. And that is the tree of life. This is the source light where you need to get to. Every compass points to it. So you see, the source light comes shooting out of the hole, hitting the parabolic mirror and showering down on us. And the sun moves round and round and round, moving inward and outward, bringing the seasons. And when you see the spiral colored lights around your Christmas tree, that's for Ra, the rainbow, the sun. So when you hear Amen, that's the black sun. You go into a church, you see that there's the stained glass windows. That's because they're blocking out the sunlight and focusing your intent onto the black sun.
Like I said in the last video, beneath the flat Earth, Admiral Byrd said he found water, oceans, a sun, land, cities, all types of animals.
Just exactly as they depicted it. It's like really exact. So all of these regions here and these edges are all like, they've been like traveling and they're just like, you know, meeting new people. They were out there for like months and months to create maps like these. They would leave for like a year and they would, you know, travel. This is between the 1500s and the 1800s. And these maps were created, perfect depictions, all right?
On approaching the spot, the pilot could see something like a mountain chain. Byrd flew over it and saw, this was his first impression, a mirage of forests, rivers, meadows with animals resembling mammoths. He could also see weird flying machines and a city with buildings built from rock crystal. He realized himself to be a second Columbus discovering a new continent. The air thermometer scale began lifting and stopped at plus 23 degrees Celsius. This was impossible for the North Pole. Radio for the connection with the airbase did not work. Byrd's wife, who read his register for the flight, told that Vice Admiral contacted the representatives of the underground civilization who overtook us for 1,000 years of development.
Early explorers said that there was rivers that fed into the mountain, and they changed directions every 6 hours, sucking in and then pushing out, and that's what caused the tides on Earth.
Here's Scandinavia, here's Russia, and here are the islands. There are no islands in the center of the map. And I have heard a lot of people say that they have taken them out, that they are hiding them. That there's really Mount Meru in the center, and then they talk about, there were those videos of the guy that was telling the story about going into the center of the earth. I don't mean Admiral Byrd, I mean there was the, another set of videos that I listened to. The guy was telling a story from a dude told in the 1800s about going into the inner earth, and he went through the North Pole and spent some time on the inside of the earth and ended up coming out on the South Pole.
One of the explorers experiences going down this hole here, and they said that they felt like they could just sail down into the shit. So the rabbit hole is not so scary as they say, and it's not so magnetic that it pulls your ship apart. Maybe it helps guide your ship. Maybe it's better to have a regular wooden ship, because as you go down this thing, as they reported, that they went down like a wormhole type of deal. And when they looked in the top they could look down and see the black sun. So somehow, kind of like your binoculars, how it has mirrors and everything, somehow they were able to look into that and see a black sun through it. And they were like, wait a minute, this is fucking crazy. So they went from up here, 30 miles across, up here somewhere, looking up into there, and then they went down and they sailed down into it. And when they said their account, when they sailed down to it, it was easy. They just sailed down into it. And they went down, and then they came up the other side, like upside down. So it's right there, man. It's right there.